I know I cover up my fault lines with silly putty. Like the laugh's gonna make the bad shit turn to nothing, but that's rubber, I'm glue.
Hi, what's up? Before we get into this video, let me say something. I have no dog in this fight. This is someone accusing someone else of grooming. These are all allegations, but I just want to say I don't watch Pyrocynical at all. Never watched his content. I watched a little bit actually, just for research purposes and to know who the guy is and a little bit about him. But other than that, I'm not a fan. There really isn't any personal reason I have for believing him over the person or the person over him. It's just, I saw the case on Twitter and it interested me and I followed it to see if anything came of it or the screenshots were shown to be fake or anything like that. And it just so happens that this got bigger and developed more than I thought it would. I'm just saying that off top because I really don't care, about this dude personally. I just didn't want to see somebody falsely accused and it'd be some bullshit again for the umpteenth time. But in this case, you'll see when we talk about it. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about Pyrocynical. He's a YouTuber with this many subscribers because I can't be bothered to look it up. He got accused, I want to say on the 30th. I'll show the screenshot here. But he had got accused of grooming someone. Now, the person who is accusing him of grooming was named Ivory, or that's what we're gonna call them. So let's read the tweets that Ivory made and let's try to get a feel for the situation. Pyrocynical groomed me and I have screenshots to prove it. I've been sitting thinking about this shit non-stop, being angry, confused, and sad that I've had to accept this since I was 15, but I never said anything because I felt powerless. What he sent ranged from drawn and SFW to fetishy YouTube videos, and he'd ask me to compile shit for him using tags that he liked on certain websites. At 15, I obviously did it because he's fucking Pyrocynical. I was just happy to be talking to him. I was just trying to continue that. I have Discord screenshots going back 4 years proving all of this, and I don't know if I should post them here, but I may. Either way, I'm done sitting here being quiet about it when I know mad people went through the same shit but are extremely traumatized and scared to talk about it. And then he proceeds to show screenshots of the Discord, of the messages, of the pictures. Some of them were blurred because, it's not very, it's an SFW, so it's a whole. And so they linked to Imgur, this site, and they showed all the screenshots that they thought that they needed to prove that it was him. Now, I was going to read you guys these screenshots, and I will, maybe in a later video if you want me to. Not today. I tried reading through it once. It was so uncomfortable. It's not even that it's fetish talk, it was the context of the allegations and all that. He also did say the N-word in there, which the way they said it was so cringy. So I'll show the screenshots on screen, do not get me wrong, and you can read it for yourself. It's just, I don't feel right now. And here's a screenshot that allegedly Pyro had made. Just what Alex was saying to me today about Keem. It reminded me of all of the RP stuff I used to do last year. There's so many fucking people I did this with, it's unreal. I don't even remember who and how many, it's that bad. If any of them suddenly don't like my content or for whatever reason, they can just out me and then everyone else will start coming forward. All it takes is one person and it's a chain reaction. I was contemplating deleting my Discord and making a new one, but I don't think that deletes all the messages, so it's still there. I didn't ever ask for nudes or anything like that. It was just the furry stuff, but yeah, it happened. And it's just a ticking time bomb. Every morning I wake up with anxiety, checking my phone, waiting for someone to message me, yo, have you seen what Keem tweeted? It's going to happen one day, and I feel fucking hopeless. That's why I'm so quiet in the call and stuff. I'm just always fucking thinking about it all the time. It takes up such a large part of my life, it's unreal. Unless I'm in the best mood possible, I'm always thinking about it. Please don't share these messages or anything I haven't and can't tell anyone except you. And then the rest of the conversation just goes right back to dirty things and whatnot. And I believe, I was kind of confused about this one here. I believe what the implication is that he showed him this image and they put it in their video. I think that's what's trying to be said here, but I might be wrong. But they also put the ID down here at the bottom. Now, just like other people, I was very skeptical of this. There are already people in the comments and whatnot saying like, oh, this is fake, oh, the ID doesn't match up, oh, these are differences, and I don't know Discord like that. I just got into it and I don't even know how to do fancy stuff on my Discord. Like, I don't know how to put bots in and shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know these things. So I don't know how Discord works. So I was just gonna wait until someone bigger confirms that it's debunked, or there's a general consensus that it's debunked. Obviously that's not the case, but it was very sketch. On top of that, Ivory wasn't making themselves look any better because they kept retweeting things with no proof of other people that said, oh, this happened to me too. And I'm like, well, you have to show proof of that. We can't just believe you because you say this happened. And with these other people that you're showing that say that happened but then show no proof of it, it's just kind of sketchy, you know? And it kind of sketched everyone out to where it's like, okay, we're starting not to believe you. Basically, I think I felt the same way everybody else did, which is like, we just need a little bit more than this to then accuse someone of grooming you and now ostracize them for being a pedo. You know what I mean? We need a little bit more than this. So after all of the retweeting, and I feel like the person just got really overwhelmed, so they end up making a Twitlonger, and it reads, final statement on Pyrocynical allegations. So let's read. Before I say anything, here's proof for my screenshots and his user ID along with messages from current girlfriend that prove this is all real. We'll read those in a second, but we're finished reading the entire Twitlonger and then I'll read you guys what was said or what we saw basically in these. I'd like to clarify that I'm not doing this for clout or public attention and that I could care less about it. This is a message to people who know Niall, I think that's how I say his name, and know for a fact that this is true, but continue to stay silent. What matters to me is that there are multiple accounts of Pyrocynical abusing his power to be sexual with his fans, which includes minors. It's not just me who has been affected. This is public knowledge and multiple communities, and has been tolerated and turned into enabling for far too long. Yesterday I tweeted that Pyrocynical groomed me and I posted screenshots of it along with the incorrect user ID and a video I sent him that he used in his video. I'm gonna use this Twitlonger to elaborate on what I posted and answer some questions I've seen repeatedly in response to the allegation. Also, I just want to say that, I mean, I don't think he's doing it for clout, but he might, but that's more or less just up to interpretation. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change the allegations or if they're true or the facts of the matter. It's just people think that doesn't justify it. People who were actually abused could have been doing that for clout. Just because it's true or not doesn't mean it doesn't invalidate it, basically is what I'm trying to say. It's weird that people are trying to use that to invalidate it. I like facts, I don't like feelings, so. Did he know your age? He did, but I don't have proof of that in message form. We talked often enough for him to know my full name, my ex-boyfriend, and his drama, I don't know what he meant by that. And he followed me on Twitter on both of his accounts where I've always had my age listed in the bio. He absolutely knew my age, and I know I told him multiple times. Either way, his girlfriend confirmed they knew I was underage in the video I posted on previously linked Imgur. Now, I have not seen like screenshots, I don't think. If I'm lying, you're not gonna hear this part. But I don't believe I've seen any screenshots of him following the person on their social medias or confirmation that he had his age on the social medias, just a tweet that he made about his age on social media. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's kind of up in the air. But with the allegations and with the screenshots, they had been talking for like 4 years. So it would be abnormal for age never to come up of how old are you, or even hints at the age to come up. It would be weird, especially when you're role playing with someone, you know. Why didn't you go to the police? I'm in the US, he's in the UK. I don't see what good the police could have done with Discord messages where he sent me an SFW. Him being a predator is obviously in those messages, but they're not something I feel like I could build a strong case for in court. Along with that, the cost of the international case is the last thing I want to face. Now with this, the court thing, I totally understand. The rest of that, iffy. You probably should went to your parent about that. If he's breaking a law, you don't really have to make a case for that really. If he's breaking a law and you can see that he's breaking a law, you don't have to sue the man. Well, in most cases you don't. If there in that messages are proof and you have solid proof that that person did something illegal, the police can make that case of, example, you can't show or send minor sexual things over the internet. That's a law. Well, I'm not sure if it's a law in the UK, but that would just be a law. You can't, try to worm your way. He's not gonna be able to worm his way around that. There's no way you can get lawyers to worm your way around that. If you send someone that, and that is a law, you will go to jail. Now, I don't know the laws in the UK, and I don't know all of this, but I doubt this person checked. And that's why it's like, okay, that's suspicious, because if it was really like a police matter where you actually had proof of this, then we rather you had gone to the police and asked them first. If then they turned you down, then coming here would have made a lot more sense. Then we would have felt a bit better about this. Do you get what I'm saying? And let me say this, even if you feel like the police may not help, go to them anyway. Because that just builds another case against you. Because then if you do something online, like make a Twitlonger or make a Twitter post, and other people start coming out, then it's like, oh, okay, there's this one case of someone filing back in whatever time, and it was this person, now these other people are coming out. It helps build a case against that person. So just because you didn't get that person in jail doesn't mean you later coming out won't get that person in jail because of the case you tried to make back then, because that stuff will follow that person. Those records don't just go away. They'll know, oh, this was documented but ignored, but we're not going to ignore it this time. And obviously all police departments aren't like that, and it's not always that easy, but try. Trust me. Go to police first. Do not go to Twitter first. Even if you think it's hopeless, go to the police first. Please, do it. Please, actually go to the police, please. These screenshots could easily be doctored, and you blanked your messages out. I definitely should have chose a harder to fake method of screen capturing instead of a normal screenshot, which is why the Imgur is showing the video of me scrolling through my phone. I centered out my messages from the screenshots because they were NSFW and I was ashamed, but I realized that caused confusion and a lack of context, so I left everything uncensored in the new Imgur. That made you seem so sus, and that made the whole situation seem sus. And I think what they should have done, honestly, was show the screenshots and show that they weren't faking it. But again, I think that they're not, this wasn't a calculated thing. I think this was an impromptu type situation, so they didn't think of all the questions people would have, all of the backup things. They just thought, I know what went down, so let me show people what I know, and they'll just believe me because I have all this information, but not realizing that we don't have the full context situation. And again, this is if this is true, but if it's not, then it is what it is. Why did you post inaccurate information when someone's career is on the line? I had that tweet in my drafts for a few weeks, and I posted it on a whim during a breakdown. I hadn't prepared the screenshots I needed because I honestly thought it wasn't going to go through with this until yesterday morning, and I thought to throw the user ID in the screenshots because my friend told me about it. What I didn't realize is that you had to copy the user ID from a members list if the account's deleted. Because of the lack of understanding, I posted an example ID claiming that it was his. I apologize for any confusion on that, and I've corrected it. And he did. He corrected it, and you'll see later. Which I honestly can understand because I didn't fucking know that. I'm not good at Discord, so if something like that happened on Discord and it was just what I wouldn't have known. I don't know how to do that. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm learning stuff about Discord. Literally this whole situation I don't know, so I'm more inclined to believe them because that's not an unrealistic thing that they just didn't know that they had to show something specific for if it's deleted. Like, most people wouldn't know that, I feel like, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, old inside. I don't. And lastly, why are you just now coming out with this? I honestly thought I would have been able to handle the backlash from posting allegations of the sort, and that they wouldn't go far enough if I did. While I do wish I had come out earlier with this to some extent, I don't think I would have even been able to talk about this properly or realize the full consequences of this when I was younger and less mature. Along with that, the whole idea for me coming forward with this situation would have been closure for me instead of closure for the fellow victims. And I'm honestly glad I waited until I went at it from the latter perspective. And that's the end of the Twitlonger. Now, I get what he's saying. I've always had this feeling, and I'm just gonna voice it here and correct me if I'm wrong. This isn't everybody, but a lot of people who come out with these sorts of things on Twitter, I feel like a lot of them come out when they're adults, specifically because you gotta realize, even though it's the internet, this shit can move on to your real life. So as a kid, as someone even just under the age of 18, you may not realize that there are pros to something like this, because all I would see is cons of all the people who would do shitty stuff to me, of the people that might be crazy and might get my information and try to actually harm me and people around me. Hell, some people are like young kids to where, what if their parents find out? I mean, their parents will find out they're doing something that they're not supposed to, or something that might get them in trouble to the point where they don't want to say anything. A lot of people, I feel like, have that fear of like, what if my parents find out? And even though it's not something bad you did, you feel like that. You know what I'm talking about. Where even if you didn't do something bad, you still feel like you still feel like you're about to get in trouble, you know? Like, it's a whole thing. You have to understand the fear behind something like that. It's not just a nothing consequence. There are many consequences that are scary and that can be intimidating for people. Again, not saying because of that fact these allegations are true. I'm just saying that we have to take that in consideration when it comes to these things. This is why I don't care about people's feelings when it comes to these things, and I more care about facts. Until I have to guesstimate on some shit or assume things, I try not to, because feelings can get in the way of how you really should handle a situation, especially when you're younger. That's all it does, is get in the way of how you should handle a situation, or just blind you in general. And now getting into the link they had on Imgur of the evidence, them scrolling through the evidence and them recording their phone doing it. But he scrolls through the conversation with him and Pyro, and then he scrolls through the conversation with Pyro's girlfriend, and oh boy, she fucked it up for any type of, this maybe couldn't be true that I had in my heart. He kind of fucked it up with this one. Not saying I think that it's true or not, and just any feeling I had with that, this kind of fucked me up for a second there. Basically, the girlfriend was like, yeah, I know this happened, but you were feeding into it. But you said this back too. But he didn't ruin your life. Why are you trying to cancel him? Why are you trying to crush him? You were into him first. You were flirting with him. I'm like, technically it's not confirmed that, like, we definitely know that Pyro saw his age. It's most likely that he saw his age. But we don't know yet. That's not super confirmed, like, airtight, in my opinion. And the way she's just going in on this person, it's like, you're not helping, this is unnecessary, did you not think this is going to be leaked? Did he even sign off on this? Because he shouldn't have signed off on this for you to do this. You need to talk to your boyfriend. You need to take your own advice and talk to your boyfriend before coming to someone else's DMs. And now you've made him look 100 times worse, so even if he is innocent, we're starting not to believe him because of you. And then he shows the server logs of Niall's old account and his Discord ID taken from the server. I'm just reading off of it. And then bot showing he used to be the owner and the confirmation ID. And he showed the full message of Pyro talking about the Keem drama that I was talking about earlier that I read off. And that's pretty much the end of that. Now, with the ID, yeah, if nothing, it confirms that the IDs match up. It isn't 100% confirmed that he knows his age. It's not 100% confirmed that at this point that the conversation wasn't like playful, haha, funny at the beginning, and that's my biggest thing at this point, was that there wasn't the full context of the conversation. Like, what did the conversation start off like? How'd you know each other? I had like 100 questions about that. So even though these DMs make it very suspicious, and I was like, okay, this is a real claim that we really got to investigate, it wasn't anything that swayed my opinion all the way yet. I was just like on the tip. You know what I mean? I was like on the edge. And then while I was researching for this video I'm making right now, I found this. Today, he gave someone a video of scrolling through the entire conversation and all of that stuff, and the person put it on their Twitter and he retweeted it. And well, the beginning of the conversation basically was like any normal conversation. And from what I could read into the conversation, I couldn't read the entire thing because it went by really fast, but the little bit in the conversation that I read, it seemed like a really regular conversation. And I feel like the person would have maybe seen something, or even the thing, we would have seen something of, let's joke around, this is funny, haha, but it just kind of seemed like it went from a regular conversation to almost like a role play type scenario where they're sending stuff back and forth. And again, it's weird because he didn't go somewhere else with this. He went to somebody that maybe he liked or he found amusing or entertaining for whatever reason. Maybe it was funny stuff on the Discord server, maybe funny stuff on Twitter, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. It didn't seem, from what we saw, from what I saw, from what I'm gonna link below, it didn't seem like this was just like a funny joke misunderstanding. But I could be wrong because the screenshots go by really fast. I had to like slow it down and try to go piece by piece. It was blurry, it was hard to see. But from what I can see, that's not what it looks like. But I could be wrong. And that's where I was just like, okay, he needs to come out with something. Because if I don't hear his side of the story, like I'm starting to believe Ivory here. But also, even though I'm starting to believe them, keep in mind, these are all allegations. Doesn't mean any of this is true. Like 100%. All we know is that the IDs could have been fake. There could have been a logical explanation for this that could be explained later by a whole video. That could be a thing. But right now, it's just not looking very good. And this is very iffy and concerning, and even the fact that he hasn't reached out to any channels or hasn't shown anyone that's been like, hey guys, you just gotta wait for the proof, you know? Like we've heard nothing so far. It's concerning, especially because his girlfriend said something before. You know, he didn't jump in the DMs, she jumped in the DMs, and I don't know, I don't know what to do. Like, it's kind of hard to decipher what to think at this point. And then before that, a day before, he went on Tommy C's channel. Basically, Tommy interviewed him and he explained some of it. He confirmed some things. They confirmed his age. So we don't know that Pyro knew his age for sure. Like, it's pretty much leading to that. We don't know it for sure, but we know that this kid is his actual age, or he did a really great fake, which is possible, but honestly, I believe him. I believe that he showed him his actual information to where we know his age. We know that he is this age, and we know that he's 19 and that he was, I believe 15, 14, around that area. 15, 16 actually, I think, around that area when this happened. Which again, ugh. And I'll link all of these resources in the description below. So with all this information and the situation so far, it's been a few days or so since these allegations came out. We've heard nothing from Pyrocynical. The only person we've heard from his camp, or that's even around him from what I can see, is just his girlfriend in Ivory's DM. And if anything, it kind of seems like she made it seem like this is a real thing and that he knew, and that it just all looks sketchy on his part. But because of how Ivy was acting, because of the things that he showed us or neglected to show us, just because of the way he moved and the things that he was retweeting and how he was replying and how he didn't come with a lot of proof and how it was hard to get that proof out of him and how it just took a lot. While I can understand the anxiety of maybe coming out with something like this, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to be on your side, probably majority of the people, if not 99% of the people, are not going to be on your side no matter what. I get how that can be hard, but also just how they were acting was just so suspect, and I can't ignore that. And even with the evidence, and even if we say that the evidence is facts, right, we're going with that hypothetical. It's a hypothetical, not saying it's true, but let's go with that hypothetical. The grooming thing, I don't know about that. I don't know if this would be considered grooming. Inappropriate behavior, definitely. This is very inappropriate, and it should have never happened. However, the grooming aspect of it, I don't think was the right wording, and I don't think it should have been used. I think that makes it a lot more malicious, inappropriate, and illegal, like very illegal. And I don't think I want to pin that on someone. I'd rather say someone is being inappropriate with someone than straight up saying that they're grooming someone, because that also has the implications of calling that person a pedo or inferring that that person's a pedo. And I don't think that Pyro is a pedo unless more evidence comes out or other victims come out with maybe worse stories. Don't think this person is a pedo, but I do think they were being inappropriate with a child. Do I know if they knew it was a child? It is heavily implied with all the evidence we have seen so far, but depending on his response, this is an allegation. This may not be true. I don't know. I honestly, at this point, I kind of just don't know how I would feel about this. And even just the fact that if he wanted to role play with people, there are servers for this. There's people who make this content. There are people who like this content. There are groups like this. He's on the internet. He could have been literally a faceless, anonymous person anywhere and enjoyed this type of stuff and been sent this type of stuff and went in different servers for this and watched fanfics of this or listened to people talk about anything and been totally anonymous. That's what makes it more suspicious to me, that he did all this allegedly with a fan or with multiple fans, allegedly. I want to stress that, but he could have just done this anywhere else anonymously. That's where it's like, okay, your intent comes into question. I need to know what your explanation for this shit is, because at this point, even if the excuse isn't perfect, it has to be good enough to where it takes away that sketchiness from you, because like right now it seems like you wanted somebody that you can easily manipulate to get what you wanted, because again, you could have gotten what you wanted a different way, but maybe it would have been harder. Maybe you would have to do the extra mile of being anonymous and you didn't want that. I don't know what it would have been, and that's where it's like, okay, there's just questions. Like I'm just curious now. Why here and not somewhere more private with people you don't know? But these are all speculations, these are all allegations, and this could not be true. This could end up being false. This could end up being nothing. I just was following the situation and I just needed to talk about it, because this could be another Crytonic situation where we never hear from this man again, or we hear like one more time from him and then never again. Or this could be a Slazzle situation where it comes out that this is all manipulated and this person isn't as terrible as we thought they were, and they're not anything that this person is accusing them of. We don't know. But we do have to keep an open mind to both parties, not accusing anybody of anything, but at least keeping an open mind to the information and the evidence coming out. That's why I'm waiting desperately for Pyro's response, because it's actually really important to this case. Like, it's kind of hard to even judge the intention without something from him. And he doesn't have a Twitter from what I can see, and he hasn't been on very many social media sites in the past week. So we need something. A video, I'm gonna say something, I'm going through something, anything like that. Your girlfriend is aware, so we know you're aware. So just say something. That's just how I feel. If you feel somehow different, if I missed anything while I was looking through this, if anything is a problem, leave it in the comments below. But that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Everything is falling down, everything is falling down, everything is falling down.
The sky is falling. Everybody's trying to grab the clouds.